Welcome to Honoring Black History on PHL 17. I'm Kelsey Fabian.
And I'm Deja Jones. Now, the month of February honors the achievements and sacrifices of Black Americans as they fought to ensure all people are recognized in politics, economics, and society.
And February 2026 marks a full century of celebrating Black History Month. So this is all thanks to the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, formed by a man named Carter G. Woods, a scholar now referred to as the father of Black history.
Now, this started as a week-long celebration that coincided with the birthdays of President Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass that evolved into the Black History Month that we have honored for 100 years. And while thinking back to 100 years ago in the 1920s, there were around 1 million African American farmers cultivating our country's land despite racial discrimination and economic exclusion.
It's this exact perseverance to root yourself in society and care for nature that's captured in the decades-long career of one local sculptor. PHL 17 producer Elizabeth Hudak has the story.
Creation, self-expression, belonging, and making your mark. These are all ideas that can be found in the history of African American agriculture and in the art of Sid Carpenter.
There's something that's distinct, that is present in the psyche, in the spirit, in the soul of a true artist. It's evolutionary. It's something that you move through organically. At least it is for me. You're always, as you're making, you start, you do something. I mean, that's always the important thing is, if you have a blank canvas or just a place, a space to work in, you do something.
The Pennsylvania-born artist has been bringing sculptures to our area for decades through long-standing collaborations with the Woodmere Art Museum.
An aspect of Sid's art that's very tangible is her work with gardens. She depicts gardens as portraits of individual gardens, but then she treats the creation of a garden as a work of art.
It's just been an ignition point for me for decades now. I never have that dilemma of I don't know what to do next in the studio. I can just look in the garden.
And that personal history with gardening led Carpenter to the rural South, where she learned about the land from African American farmers who had been something of artists themselves for generations.
Being on the land is critical to any culture, their own land that they have been able to build over in terms of their culture, their legacies. Everything is rooted in their placement on the land. In this country, if you do not have land, for the most part, you are at the mercy of those who do have land.
I love that in many of the farm portraits and many of the farm bowls, there are textures that look like mud where, maybe, horse hooves have stepped or human feet have been, or tractors and plows and other farm equipment have maybe made shapes in the ground. And Sid finds great beauty in this because these are, the marks of, the people or the animals who are working the earth.
As all people are confronted by the climate change crisis, cuts to agricultural funding, and removal of artifacts that honor Black history, artists and farmers alike agree it's more important than ever to keep creating and planting yourself in America's story.
The importance for African Americans to be on the land, I can't emphasize that more. And stewardship of our own land, all of that is critical to a sense of belonging, and not only a sense, but the reality of belonging.
Sid Carpenter's art tells the story of American people who refuse to go unseen and persist in growing, evolving, and celebrating their culture to transcend time, something that will inspire the creators and the doers for decades to come.
We have to be visible. We have to make our art. We have to tell our tales. All of these things. So the exact opposite of the intention of erasure is stimulating, to me, a new renaissance in Black art.
And that was Elizabeth Hudak reporting. And with African American agriculture in mind, Positively Philly's Rachel Malik recently took a trip to Chester County Farm just in time for Black History Month.
So let's join her for more on how one woman's career pivot is upholding a surprising legacy.
Today we have come from the city to the farm. We're visiting Farmer John Agriculture, and founder and CEO Krista Barfield is joining us. Thank you so much for hosting, I should say.
Oh, thank you for coming up to the farm.
It feels pretty nice in the greenhouse, doesn't it?
It's lovely, much better.
A great hack for the winter weather. We are warming up just nice. And I'm already learning a lot. Let's start with how this came to be. I mean, you're a Philadelphian yourself.
Indeed.
How does that turn into a career in agriculture?
Interestingly enough, I actually have a background in healthcare. So I worked in healthcare for 10 years. I worked in the city at some of the best practices down there. So I ended up traveling for the first time out of the country in 2018. I took a trip solo to Martinique. And while I was there, I had an opportunity to meet Black farmers. And I was so inspired. I had just resigned, and I was like, I'm gonna become a farmer. So I came home telling friends and family that everyone thought I was nuts.
Like,
and
Krista,
here
are
we
you
are.
okay?
Yeah, here we are 8 years later, and 128 acres across 3 counties in PA.
No big deal, right? Oh my gosh, and so many people are benefiting from this, by the way, and it seems like the more you're learning about the area we're physically in, the more you're realizing that you're kind of continuing a legacy. Tell me more.
It's so interesting to learn more just about Chester County is where Westchester is, and that's where this farm is, and the origins of Black agriculture in America are deep-seated in this area.
Wow.
It's not a secret that Black bodies were exploited for the purpose of the American Revolution, and so we are really just reclaiming that, putting a new spin on it, and just letting people know that agriculture is the culture. It's a part of all of our roots, all of our lineage, and let's lean back into it.
Totally, I can't help but smile. There is so much joy as soon as you step in here, and it's clear that you are so passionate about the work you do. Let's talk about where this farm is going, maybe even in this season, what will become of the space we're in.
Everything that ends up on the farm across all of this acreage, it starts in a greenhouse first. We take a small little seed, we plant about 600,000 of them, and we end up starting them here and then putting them out into the soil once it warms up, once there's no ice out there. And you know, I always like to say agriculture is the culture because it really is a reminder to people that everything you're eating, everything you drink, the clothes you're wearing, the tables in your home, you know, it all is thank you to a farmer somewhere somehow.
And it's so cool to know that so much is happening locally. I think it's a reminder for us to support local farming as well.
Definitely.
And to maybe come out and visit Farmer John. I know a lot of people do that. Coming up in the springtime, it's coming, we promise, right? So give me kind of a snapshot of what might happen here in the spring.
Rolling hills of just vegetation, just green, that dopamine hit that you need coming out of
here, right?
Oh, you do. That's why we love this. We use this for our teams to make sure we have things to gnash on during the winter, but we really love to see when the fields are just flush with beautiful produce of all different colors. But it's about nutrient density. All of our work starts at the soil level. We're really intentional about that. We are chemical free. We believe in regenerative organic agriculture. And that to me is a reincarnation of my healthcare career. So I'm really just coming back to it, you know?
Wow, that gives you goosebumps, right? It's such a nice full circle. You are doing exactly what you were meant to do. So thank you for letting us tour around and see a little bit more. I would love to come visit when things are in full force in the spring and summer.
You must. We'll get you on our bus trips. We have them every week.
There you go.
In the spring and summer.
I'm so holding you to this. Thank you so much. Let's get our hands dirty. Let's get into it a
I'd
little
love
bit.
to get you in here, get a little tasting going.
Let's do
Let's make it happen.
Krista, thanks so much.
Thank you for being here.
And that was Rachel Malik reporting. Still to come on Honoring Black History, how one Philly neighborhood is celebrating Black artists and the power of creating. Plus, a trailblazer in costume design has brought her vibrant and iconic works of Afrofuturism to Philadelphia. We'll get a closer look after this break.
Welcome back. If you are looking for ways to educate yourself this Black History Month, historic Germantown in Philadelphia is a great place to do so. So the Lest We Forget Museum of Slavery is Philadelphia's only museum that exhibits authentic slavery artifacts. It gives a unique historical perspective into the reality of slavery. You'll be able to see up close the harsh tools used to control and punish slaves during that time period of American history. So the museum is located at 5501 Germantown Avenue and has a $20 admission fee, and you can book a tour Tuesday through Sunday. And taking the beauty of music and art to empower younger generations, that's the idea behind the new Black History exhibition in Northern Liberties.
That's right, and PHL 17's Alyssa Cristelli had the chance to speak with some of the local creators and watch the art come to life.
Channel 17 continues our celebration of Black History Month, Northern Liberties is doing it in a big way by bringing people together with art, music, food, and community. The first annual First Friday event continues through the month of February as it highlights local artists, creativity, and culture across 2 Black and female-owned businesses and supports youth arts education. So here to share more about the exhibition and its mission is Dorothea Gamble, co-owner of Trunk. We have artist Leanne here live painting for us, and Pauline Houston McCall, artist and co-owner of 1040 Creative. Welcome.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, we got a packed house here. We have so much to show. Thank you for being here. So tell us, we know that we have a live painter here. We have Leanne, so we're going to check on her throughout the segment and see what she creates for us. But tell us, you guys had your First Friday event on Friday, and it's going to continue. So tell us about the inspiration.
So at 1040 Creative, our inspiration for Black History Month, of course, we based it around the youth. We based it around our fundraiser, which is called Small Works Wonders. And so when people come to buy, and they bought a lot, when they come to buy small pieces that they can walk out with or come back and get later, they assist a kid in getting scholarship for summer youth art programs. And they love coming to the gallery. They love coming and making artwork and just hanging out, just being in an artful place and being inspired. So that was super cool about what we did at 1040 Creative.
Yeah, that's amazing. And Dorothea, tell us, so this is a collaboration between both of you. It's not just the First Friday that you just did, it extends through the month. So tell everyone how it works.
Well, so we started on First Friday, and we had a violinist there. We had our artist painting in the window at the shop. And here's her work here. But what we do, what my inspiration and what we're doing throughout the month is just showcasing, which we do all year round because Black History is every single day. We just really focus on showing Black-owned, Black-made, Black culture throughout the entire month. That's basically what it's about. And mostly local, and it's an opportunity and a platform for people to sell and get their product in people's homes. And it's just wonderful for us to do that, especially for people that look like me.
Of course, and it's community and of course highlighting all of the local artists. There's so much to enjoy. So what can people experience when they visit? Give us a preview, because I know you guys brought a lot.
Oh, I know, we brought a lot of stuff. So from 1040 Creative, I have all these wonderful small pieces. These are by Wanda Payne. I love her work. We love her. I've known her since we were 18, and I'm not telling you how old I am now. But she's just a prolific artist, and here's some of her small pieces. These are some of mine. I'm an gallery owner, but also an artist, because you have to wear many hats. What can I say? And as well as this large piece over here. But these, when you buy, I think I'm going to buy this one. In fact, you can't, I know, isn't it beautiful?
So colorful.
So bright, so colorful. So this one is going to have a red dot when it goes back to the gallery. But they're beautiful, they're delicious little pieces. Imagine you buying a piece that brings you joy, and then the kid gets joy because the kid gets to come for free to the gallery for summer art programs. So we just love that.
It's so full circle. And Dorothea, you are holding something as well.
Yes, these are a few pieces of Leanne's work that'll be hanging in our gallery, or actually our shop, because we don't have a gallery. We just use our walls for a gallery until the end of April. And we also brought this vendor in for the month, especially Black-owned potato chip company.
Wow.
Pretty amazing, and soda company,
That's
Afro-Pop.
amazing.
And he's from Philly. These people are from Oklahoma, but it's Black-owned, and this is low-calorie.
Yeah. Now, Dorothea, before we go, I just want to ask you, what do you want people to take away from this after they visit?
I want them to take away that when they shop local, small, Black, they should do it every day, all year, all the time.
Yes.
And because we, as a community, we need to also always service and support diverse community. Yes. So when you come into the shop, I want you to feel the diversity. And you will.
1,000%.
Well, you know.
Yes, and I've been there, and we love both of your stores, and not just for Black History Month, but all the time. So I want everyone to take a look at what Leanne has created for us. Can you tell everyone where can we go for more information? To visit the exhibition.
The exhibition, yes. So we're located at 1040 North 2nd Street on Liberty Walk, right next to El Camino restaurant. So when you come down 2nd Street, just go down that little walk there. We are tucked in, but we're open. We're open by appointment, but we're open on Saturdays and we're open on Fridays. So we have Saturday art classes.
Wonderful.
They're pretty much filled, so.
Love that. And Dorothea, just where's your website?
Okay, so we have the website, trunk.net. You can shop at our shop in person, feel the vibe at 929 North 2nd Street. Our hours are Wednesday through Sunday, 12 to 6.
Wonderful.
Look forward to seeing anyone come and support.
Absolutely, and we'll post all of that on our website.
Yes,
and we thank you
yes.
so much for being with us and wish you
Thank
all the luck with
you.
the exhibition.
All right, thank you, Alyssa. Powerful new exhibition at the African American Museum in Philadelphia is celebrating one of Hollywood's most influential costume designers, Ruth E. Carter. The touring showcase called Afrofuturism in Costume Design displays history, imagination, and culture. Take a look. Black Panther, Sinners, Malcolm X, Coming to America, Selma. You've seen these films light up the big screen. Now, step behind the scenes and into the designs that shaped their worlds. Two-time Oscar-winning designer Ruth E. Carter's work has captivated audiences around the globe. Experience it up close, every detail, every stitch, every choice that brought these iconic characters to life. This is Afrofuturism in Costume Design.
Visual history is just as important to the story of American history as well as material culture because it allows us to teleport through time. It allows us to get back into character, to see what the story was about.
It's really nice. It's taking me back in my history, my culture, learning new things, and just kind of getting in touch with my heritage.
It's a nice exhibit. It brings a lot into the Black culture.
For the story of Ruth Carter, it's important to note the dream. And we're always talking about equal access and the importance of having that. I do believe that her story embodies the power of what to be. When you have equal access, when you have the opportunities, there's no limit in what you can do. And even in her sketches from a little girl, look at her now. These costumes speak to the possibility of what she had just as a dream, sketching out on the sewing machine in her home, to now. She's on the set of Hollywood's best movies.
One of those movies, Sinners, recently made history as the first film to receive 16 Academy Award nominations, including Best Costume Design. Now, for the very first time, its costumes are on public display in the city of First at the African American Museum. This is more than an exhibition. It's a journey through Carter's groundbreaking vision, her storytelling, and the African American narrative that she celebrates through every piece. Reporting for PHL 17 Morning News, I'm Deja Jones.
So cool. Thanks, Deja. All right, coming up, how Kensington students are painting their vision of a brighter tomorrow and calling for social change, and they're doing it through murals. And we are taking a step back into historic Germantown to learn more about a stop on the Underground Railroad. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are taking a look at another place in historic Germantown where you can educate yourself this month. So the Johnson House is a historic site that helps tell the history of the Underground Railroad. The home was owned by a family of Quaker abolitionists who worked to secure a safe passage to freedom. A visit to the museum will leave you understanding the risk that men and women took to ensure freedom for others and the bravery of the enslaved people to embark on a journey to be free. So if you would like to visit the historic home along Germantown Avenue, you can schedule a tour at johnsonhouse.org. All right, now we want to follow up on a story that we brought to you on Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day of Service.
So students at Kensington Health and Sciences Academy, they spent the day painting several murals throughout their school halls. So here are some of the finished works, okay? The project was a chance to share a message with their classmates and future students, celebrating a legacy of unity, self-love, and hope. Helping the students commission the murals was an organization called Walls for Justice. The nonprofit promotes social changes through art. But let's take a look before beautifying went down, before they did that with the school, when the students were in the planning stages of these murals. PHL 17's Rachel Moore shares the impact these young artists hope to have on their peers.
The self-love thing supposed to go right here.
While mapping out where to paint the school's next legacy,
I think that would be nice because it has words.
Yeah. Students at Kensington Health Sciences Academy are reflecting on the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
His Day of Service thing more like comes to me as something you should definitely just give to the community.
So they're giving their community new murals throughout the school halls.
Just show people to be fair and like just be equal with others.
The school is partnering with Samuel Rodriguez and his nonprofit Walls for Justice. It began in 2020 with the Black Lives Matter movement. Through art, specifically murals, they aim to uplift communities and social movements.
When you pick up the paintbrush, you drop your sword, metaphorically speaking. When people pick up the paintbrush, they connect with one another.
Local artists mentor the students as they lay out their designs.
When you are present and you don't get many publicity about things you don't need, really, you go to be more compassionate.
Especially at a time when social change today blends with the dream Dr. King had while leading the civil rights movement.
Because of social media, students feel as though they don't have voices or being able to speak and express themselves in a certain way without being judged. And I think projects like this allows them to express themselves in a positive way.
And sharing their message of hope, love, and community service is essential to their mural.
I just really want to do something that people will look at it and it's just like, oh, that's real cute. Like, yeah, I like it. Like, that resonates with me.
And that was Rachel Moore reporting. And finally, when we come back, we'll make one last stop at a museum that captures the sacrifice of heroism of Black veterans. Stay with us.
Welcome back. We've got one last stop for you to make in historic Germantown this Black History Month. So the ACES Museum is an institution highlighting the contributions of Black veterans and minority soldiers in World War II. The museum is committed to preserving and celebrating the history, culture, and contributions of America's minority veterans. So if you want to visit, the facility is on Germantown Avenue and it's open Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 to 4. Art, agriculture, achievement, and so much more has been part of honoring Black history on PHL 17, and we thank you for watching.
Absolutely. You can continue to tune in weekday mornings and online, of course, at PHL17.com for Black history information and events happening all month long. But we'll see you next time.